Let's get it popping. What's up, family? So look, check this out, man. This ain't even my show. You know what I mean? I filmed my show yesterday, but this is like an emergency show. This is like a So look, man. I had a conversation with my young cousin. I won't say his name, but I had a conversation with my young cousin, and all today on the internet, because this is my cousin's son, basically, who I became kind of fond of. We've, kind of been creating a relationship over the years here. And I'm just using this as like a teachable moment, right? Like I said, this ain't even my goddamn show. Normally I do my show on Mondays and, I planned on chilling or whatever. But the young brother brought up some points that and we had a conversation about it on Facebook Live, but I just wasn't able to get into it the way that I wanted to, right? So here's the thing, man. We understand, right, that what this system has done to our people, right? We understand that the end result of what we're looking at when it comes to how a black woman acts, when it comes to how a black man acts, yes, personal accountability is necessary, and everybody needs to take personal accountability. Like moving forward, that's the process. Like everyone should be personally accountable for what they've done, right? Or what they're currently doing, right? But we would be remiss not to mention like the systematic endeavors that have taken place that have brought us to the point that we have now, right? Or the point that we at now, right? So if you look at a black woman who, let's say a black woman who dressed in a certain way, or a black woman who out here having kids, right? If as a black man, you looking at all of this and you see us having kids, you see the single parent rate, you're looking at all these things about black society, and as a black person, that can make you kind of mad, right? Like you want something to be done, right? Excuse me. But here's the actual problem about it, and this is what all my black men need to understand. If you don't like something that's going on in society, that has to do with our people, you can be saying the right thing all the wrong fucking way. You know what I mean? Let me explain to you what I mean by that. If I don't have a problem listening to any black person that criticizes other black people. I do it myself at times. I think that's healthy. We can't be on this kumbaya shit all the time like we don't have problems inside of our community. Yeah, I talk about racism. I talk about white supremacy. These are large factors in why we are the way we are today, right? But when I come at my people about what we don't do right, I have to do two things, I think, for it to be successful. One, you have to do this shit out of love. Like it has to be out of love. If it's not out of love and you speak it on us, that's when we start calling you a coon. That's when we start calling you race traitor and all these other names, because it's obvious you really ain't for us like that, right? So if you see things that are going on in our community that you don't like, it's okay to speak on them, but you have to be contextual and you have to do this shit out of love, family. You know what I mean? And we also got to get over this attention shit. Like if you saying something one way and nobody's listening to you, right? Like going the trolling route where you say uncontextual ass shit just to get a shock out of people, that shit don't come off the right way. You know what I mean? And that shit don't make you look good. If your ultimate goal is to help us and to help us move forward, then how you approach your people matter. In this new internet age where attention is important and clout chasing is important, we got to realize we got to get off of that shit. You know what I mean? Now, another thing I want to address with my young cousin, because I love the brother, man. We just need to address some shit. Like this, like I said, this is a teachable moment. If you a young dude in this street and all the women you coming across is talking about money, or all the women you coming across seem to be like not valuing themselves, right? Let's say you meet a woman and you have morals and integrity about what you want to do in life, and she don't necessarily have that. That's not a bad reflection on you. You know what I mean? That's based on her and who she was raised around. And at the same time, all women aren't like that. So if you constantly are meeting women who have low expectations or aren't integral people, then you got to start looking at your surroundings. Like, where the hell am I meeting these women at? What is it about me that's making them come at me like that? You see what I'm saying? Because there are no absolutes in the universe. Please understand that. Black family, we get everything fucked up when we speak in absolutes. There are no absolutes in the universe. Yes, there are black women in art, and I was trying to bring this point home to my young cousin. There are black women in our community that abuse this system. There are black women in our community who abuse the system to take advantage of men. There are black women in our community that don't mean us no good. But that's every community have pariahs. Every community have people, have individuals that don't necessarily mean that community no good. But when it comes to black folks, the reason why I don't come down on my sisters hard, right? Some black men do, like my little cousin was doing. I don't respect that shit because you have to factor in everything we've been through. The black woman is probably the most haunted. She's probably the most sought after individual in our country. Meaning, she only don't have to deal with being black in America, but she has to deal with being a woman in America. So she has to deal with sexism and racism. And from the beginning of time, since we got here, our women have been getting beaten. Our women have been getting raped. Black women coming up missing. You see what I'm saying? Now, granted, you always have to factor in the personal accountability of our community, like how as men, we need to treat our women a certain way. As men, we need to make sure our women are taken care of. We need to make sure our families are taken care of, right? But how do we get to that place? Right? Do we get to that place by saying, I see all the dysfunction, so fuck all these women, I'm going fuck with a Mexican? This is what he's telling me. You see what I'm saying? So I'm trying to get clear with the brother. Is this a conversation about love or hate? If it's a conversation about hate, then I don't want to have nothing to do with this shit. You see what I'm saying? If I'm talking to a black man who loves us, but is trying to figure out what he's looking at, trying to figure out the best way to go about building a black family, that's one thing. But if you on some coon shit where you basically say the system of white supremacy has ruined my community, and because of that, I don't like what I see, so I'm going to run off and be with a Mexican woman or an Asian woman. Let me tell you something. My nigga, I don't respect that shit at all. Like any black man that got that mentality, there's no space for them in all the shit we trying to do. Not at all. None of that hate shit, especially coming from a black man, because we supposed to be least emotional than women. You shouldn't be hella all in your feelings about what's going on out here. If you a black, and this is just real shit, all people listen to me. If you a black man who ain't found a black woman that's worthwhile, something wrong with you, nigga. I guarantee you it. I hate what motherfuckers hit me with. Ain't nobody out here. Ain't no black women out here. Ain't no black men out here. No. It's where you looking at. Maybe it's you. Maybe it's time for you to take a look in the mirror, right? Because we talk about women only want flash. They only want money. They only want materialistic shit, right? Well, if you buying the nigga trinkets, if you got on 15 fake ass chains and hella fake ass jewelry and shit, yeah, you a piranha for that type of woman. So again, it's you. Dress yourself up right. Make sure your messaging is correct, and you will find the woman that you want. If you a nigga with your pants down to your ankles, hella fake chains on, you can't even get a word out edgewise, you can't even speak clearly, what kind of woman do you think you are going to attract? Energy, family. This shit is about energy. Your energy is what attracts a particular woman, right? This is for men and women. You see what I'm saying? If you're not finding the right woman, family, I promise you, you can move to Colorado. You can move to Atlanta. Nigga, you can go to D.C. Motherfuckers be like, I'm getting out of this city. Ain't no people here. No. It's you. You see what I'm saying? That shit is you. So I'm not going to let men use the fact that my people and my women have been disenfranchised. My women have been raped and pillaged and all type of fucked up shit has been going on with them. I'm not going to let that be the case. And then a black man come out and talk about, well, I ain't fucking with none of these black men. Then I asked the nigga, well, look, nigga, your mama had you at 13. So what are we talking about? Because you said all black women ain't shit. So you talking about your mama? Then the nigga say, no, nigga, your mama had you at 13, and as of right now, today, she's a thriving business owner who getting her, nigga, it's a beautiful story if you tell the story. Now, do people have problems? Yes. Do people go through things and the systematic endeavors that fuck with all of our minds? We have drugs, we got young black girls getting raped by their uncles and by their brothers and all this shit. For a long time, black women have been the most unprotected individuals in this country. We couldn't protect them. As slaves, we couldn't protect them. They would come in our goddamn house and take our kids out the house. They would come in our goddamn house and rape our women in front of us. You know what I mean? We've been emasculated by the society, and the nigga got the nerve to tell me that's why I'm going with Mexicans. Nigga, fuck you then. The fuck out of here. What we talking about? What we talking about? I'm completely for holding people accountable. Everybody. I'm completely for holding everybody accountable, but I'm not going to listen to no black man tear down a black woman, not in 2021, nigga. And if you going to do this shit, nigga, come with facts. Be contextual about what the fuck you talking about. I ain't no goddamn idiot. I give people the time of day because I love y'all. And that's 100. Now, the young dude I'm talking about, and Dion, if you ready, you can come back on here again, nigga. We can talk about it. But this is my family. So other members of my family, it's hit me like, hey, leave him alone. Quit fucking with him. He ain't no good. I know he ain't our family, but fuck him. Nah, see? That's another dysfunction that we got. We hear somebody say some shit we don't like, and all of a sudden, let's throw him to the wolves. No. Why is this young man operating from that mentality? That's a problem. You see? You see what this system has done to us? So, family, I got some points I want to get out here, and this ain't even my goddamn show. Shit, I'm supposed to be doing today, but that shit got me hot, man. And that's a young brother. We can't have... Listen. There's nothing wrong with interracial dating. Because he talking about, I'm finna go get me a Mexican because they got culture and I'm getting away from us because we ain't got culture. Nigga, we started culture. The fuck are you talking about? We ain't got no culture. All this shit is because of us. Reading, writing, science, arithmetic, all of it some African shit. So who the fuck don't got no culture? You talking about some American shit? We ain't no goddamn Americans. We stolen fucking Africans. You gonna tell me some shit about you going, nigga, go get a goddamn Mexican bitch. And I promise, she ain't gonna sit up and let you do no bullshit either. Know what I learned about women? Period. Now, culturally, yes, you do have some cultures that are a little more subservient than others. But most women ain't gonna let you just run over them, regardless of their race. Regardless of their race, if they got a backbone, which you should want a woman with a backbone, she ain't gonna take no man that's full of shit. And if you another race of woman, if you fucking with a black man who don't like black people, get the fuck away from that nigga. Bottom line, we don't, look, family, we don't see this shit in other communities. You never see white men like I ain't fucking with white women. Now, like I was gonna say, I don't got a problem with interracial relationships. But if the reason you with that white woman is because you don't fuck with black people, nigga, kill yourself. Fuck that shit. I'm not listening to a dog. And this is why, family, this is why we got to raise our kids. This is why Melanated Fathers of America is so goddamn important. We need to raise our fucking kids. If not, they gonna be 20-something years old talking about, nigga, I want out of this black shit. This is why we have professional coons in our society, family, because they look at our struggle, they look at what we've been through, and they say, I want to opt out of that shit. I don't want to be involved with none of that. I'm gonna have me a little Mexican baby. I'm gonna have me a little white baby, so I ain't gotta deal with the hair, I ain't gotta deal with the... Look, here's the thing, though. I don't mind it. What I was trying to get across to my young cousin, I was trying to be clear with him. I ended up had to hang up on him and shit, but I was trying to be clear with him. Cause, is this a hate conversation or a love conversation? Because it's sounding like you don't fuck with us. Nigga, if you don't fuck with black women, you don't fuck with me. We can be family, but I ain't fucking with you. He like, well, I ain't saying I don't fuck with black women. That's what you saying. I said, no. I've been watching you online all day. And you my family, man. So I'm watching you online, and you wanted me to interview you on my platform before, a year and a half ago. I did interview you for my platform. I liked your music. I liked the fact that you were a young man attempting to get things right in society. You didn't have kids yet. Like, you were trying to do things the right way. I fuck with all of that. But I had to tell him, there's no way I'm going to interview you for my platform if all you talking about is you don't like black women. You calling black women bitches, you saying baby mamas, and whoa, nigga. I'm a black man that got baby mamas. Do you know the biggest reason my baby mamas had problems with me? Because I was on some bullshit, nigga, as a man. See, did they make mistakes? Yes. Were they emotional at times? Yes. Were they vindictive at times? Yes. And they could be called for doing that shit too, right? But at the end of the day, I was controlling everything. I had full control, right? So the bottom line is, we at the bottom of a goddamn slave ship argument. The fuck are we arguing about? Ain't no black man, no, we're at the bottom of a slave ship together. What we gonna do? See, this is the problem with social. Look, family, I use this platform to empower y'all. I share a little bit of my personal life, but I kind of go back and forth with that because that's the problem with this shit. Anybody with a phone can pick that motherfucker up and share whatever they want to share, right? And that's a beautiful thing. That has brought a lot of beautiful things to our society. But again, you need to be responsible with your words, man. And I wouldn't be addressing this if he wasn't in my family. This is my family member. I'm not the kind of person to see somebody I know or don't know say something I don't like and completely cancel them. We in this bullshit ass cancel culture where somebody say one thing you don't like and it's like fuck them for good. I ain't going there. But at the end of the day, we got to protect women and we got to protect our fucking children. And that's from everybody. That's from other black men. That's from white men. That's from whoever. You know what I mean? Motherfuckers hear how I talk and they always hit me. I know niggas who got non-black women, right? And they kind of hesitant when they tell me, oh, you know, my girl Mexican or she white. Nigga, I don't care about that. How you feel about me? How you feel about me? I don't care that you sleep with a white woman. Because see, white folks, let me tell you a goddamn secret. White folks can fuck with your black ass, they'll sleep with your black ass, and they'll get up in the morning and still practice white supremacy. They get up in the morning and they stay on code with they people. That's all we need, fam. That's all we need. Nigga telling me nobody said nothing about Kamala for having a white husband. Yeah, they did. Yeah, we did. The fuck you talking about? It's not the white husband part. If you're in alignment with this system, if you're in alignment with racism, then we get to looking at your background. And we say, oh, okay, now 1 + 1 = goddamn 2. You see what I'm saying? So shit, man. When we talk about why our women aren't married, when we talk about why our women are single mothers, it's context, goddammit. You can't just say no shit. You can't just throw no shit like that out there. How many of our men are in jail? The prison industrial complex got our men fucked up. My uncles, my brothers, they're all there right now. Right? For doing the same shit the Bushes did. For doing the same shit Clinton's family did. They just trying to get they're disenfranchised people who are trying to get a leg up in society. That's how society works. Fucking bootlegging, crime has been happening since the beginning of time. As a people, we just don't get the opportunity to do these crimes and then flourish later on. You see what I'm saying? So you got to be contextual. Last thing I'm going to do here. The brother mentioned to me, he kept saying the fucking 78% of black women is single mothers. 78%. Listen, there's truth to that number, but let me break down for you the true actual numbers, right? This shit got me hot, man. We look, man, black men. This is the message to all my black men. If your goal in life ain't liberating your family and liberating your community, please get the fuck out of my way. Please don't contact me. Stay out my DMs. Stop all that shit. We got these delusions of grandeur, right? Where we have these niggas who think they're so highly touted. Get out my DM. If another bitch be in my DM about, ain't nobody all that like that. Ain't nobody all like that. No, nobody wants you. Who the fuck is you? Sometimes men talk all this shit about the kind of woman they want, but they ain't never been to school. They ain't got no good education. They don't got a good job. They ain't got no hustle. They hella lying. They hella bootsy. The fuck we talking about? Now, Last thing I'm going to do here before I go. And again, this ain't even my show, y'all, but I had to address this. I couldn't wait until next week to address this, right? Because, again, the brother is my little cousin, and it's important. Whenever I hear a man speaking ill of black women or black children, because also I forgot to address this with the nigga. He was going back and forth with somebody in the comments, and a girl, he said something about, I'm not fucking with baby mamas. If you got a baby, stay out of my DM, all this nonsensical bullshit, right? Then the nigga posted a picture of this black girl's child. Said something derogatory about the child. That's a no-no, fam. That's a no-no, fam. Normally, a situation like this, I would address it with somebody privately. I'm not one for publicly shaming or publicly being combative with somebody. But this is a teachable fucking moment. This is why black parents, we need to be in our children's life. Fathers, goddamn, fathers, we need to be in our children's lives from the beginning, right? We gotta love them. We gotta show them empathy. We have to teach them about what we've been through in this country. If you don't, they can grow up hating your ass. They can be one of these self-hating coons that don't mean us no goddamn good. You see what I'm saying? So, again, my cousin kept saying 78% of black women are in single-parent homes. 78% of black parents, okay. Numbers sometimes can be conflated to prove a particular point. So let me tell you what I mean. Bear with me while I read this article from Newsweek. When it comes to, and I'll skip around a little bit. When it comes to black dads specifically, most, in fact, live with their children. A CDC study found that about 2.5 million black fathers were living with their children, and about 1.7 million were officially living apart from them. Now, just hear me out. Counting by the numbers of children rather than the numbers of fathers presents a different picture. The Census Bureau report that slightly more than half, hear me, this is fucking facts. I don't like when people just throw fucking numbers and shit at me. Nigga, I read some shit so you can know what the fuck is really going on. Shit. The Census Bureau reports that slightly more than half of black children live in homes headed by one parent, which usually, but not always, is the mother. This is explained in part by non-residential fathers having more children. It is true that black children are more likely than others to be born out of wedlock, but neither of these things make children fatherless. Follow me. Millions of kids live with their families millions of kids live with their fathers half the time like my kids did, right? Or at least part of the time through joint custody arrangement. But children generally have one legal address, which is particularly important for purposes of determining school districts. Most often, the legal address is the mother's. This is a major reason that fatherlessness statistics in general are overblown. Read some shit, nigga. Fathers' homes all too often are not counted officially as being homes with children. Meanwhile, and this is the last part, meanwhile, among fathers who live with their children, black dads are in many ways the most involved in their kids' lives. Black fathers, 70%. Hit me with numbers, nigga. And I hope you watching this, Dion. I'm going to send this to your ass, nigga. You should come on my live. Black fathers, 70%, were more likely to have bathed, dressed, diapered, or helped their children use the toilet every day compared to white fathers and Hispanic fathers, nigga. So what the fuck are you talking about? Don't come at me with that shit. We get enough strife with motherfuckers outside of our community. But then we got these coon-ass niggas. I don't care if you're in my family. You got these coon-ass niggas that don't mean us no goddamn good. And this nigga got the nerve to tell me about a black man killed Malcolm X. A black man killed Martin Luther. Yeah, nigga, and you would kill me. The fuck we talking about? Either it's going to be a love conversation or it's going to be a hate conversation. If it ain't about love, nigga, fuck you. That's where we all got to get with this shit. It's way too much shit going on. It's always a whole bunch of shit going on. But the issue always remains, what side of this shit are you on? Motherfuckers read me all these stats about, nigga, I do this. That's why I don't be commenting, man. That's why I give social media the biggest benefit of the doubt. I know there are millions of lost souls in this country. There are millions of misguided souls in this country. There are millions of people who were weird ass motherfuckers as kids. Now they get to talk. Now they get to express how they feel. I get that. Maybe it makes you feel better to tell me what you ate today. Maybe it makes you feel better to show me all kind of pictures about. I get it. Like, I don't knock nobody, man. I understand the day and time that we living in, but black men, if you don't got no love for black women, fuck you. I don't mind if you date outside of your race. Love really has no color. Like, that's some real shit. She can be green. If you like her and she down, you go on with your little green bitch. I mean, come on. But if the reason you say you don't fuck with black people was because we dirty, because we ain't got no culture, because we don't know, fuck you. We don't need you either, family. And what he don't realize, he was playing it right into what he talking about he don't like. Because throughout our entire history, just like he was saying to a degree, everything that's been thwarted, every slave revolt, every time we've tried to get a leg up, every time we had an organization that was built on repairing our community, they tear down that organization with one main weapon. Coons. Black men, let me calm down a little bit. Black men who feel the same way he felt. That black people ain't shit, we dirty, we don't have culture, we don't come from nowhere, all we do is have kids out of wedlock, right? And if we're not careful, family, we'll believe the hype. The article I found from Newsweek that I just read to you guys, I was going to talk about this on my next show next Monday. I found this article in 10 minutes, right? So with all the information we have available to us, we need to read more. Like, I don't see a story on social media and go crazy about it. I don't see a story on social media and take it to heart. If I really care, I copy and paste the title and I go to Google and I find credible sources to see if what I'm reading is true. You know what I mean? So it got me upset because that's my family. And like I said, family members, because he asked to be on my show. He's been telling people, he's been kind of promoting it because he does a lot of promoting for his music and shit. And he's telling people, hey, first interview I'm giving for my new project, gonna be my uncle, Harrison, Melanated Fathers, da da da. Look, family, my whole platform is not just about being positive, but it's being accountable too. Like, if we're gonna talk some shit about what's not happening in our society or what's not happening in our community, then we have to be contextual. I kept trying to tell him, and he was hell-bent on kind of just going back and forth with me. And when we were going back and forth, people was watching that, you know what I mean? So I'm like, wait a minute, man. Let me go on my platform to kind of clarify some shit, because I'm all about clarity, y'all. I'm all about context. I'm all about fucking reading. And like I just read to y'all, in America, for the most part, because there's no absolutes like I was trying to tell him, for the most part, like I was reading here, black fathers are more involved. So what is he talking about? Now, of course, like I told him, there are women in our community who have abused this system, right? They've abused the welfare system. They've abused the child support system to a degree. This is true, but there's a reason that they do this, right? The systematic endeavors that we've had to go through have shaped our mentality. And if you're a black person in America, if you're not careful, you'll be living, or you'll have like a Willie Lynch syndrome type of thinking, where it's only about you. It's about kicking the next person down to get above them. Once you get money, or once you become affluent, you get to looking down at other black folks. This caste system in the black society got to stop, y'all. They set it up this way. So once you get something, they give you a butter biscuit or they give you some type of trinket, then all of a sudden you better than the rest of us, because my little cousin is talking about, I own homes. Now, I don't know if any of this shit is true, but let's just say it is true. Who gives a shit about what you got materialistically? Who gives a shit about that? Because you're talking about you own homes. You're presenting yourself as some type of, you're presenting yourself as this ballin' ass rapper based on your clothes, based on your swag, right? You sagging your pants, you talking all this nigga shit. What type of woman do you think you're going to attract if that's how you coming at them? You see what I'm saying? So this is a teachable moment for all black parents out there. If you have a young man, make sure the man is prideful. Make sure he's prideful in who he is. Now, also, if you're a black woman who, let's say you're on welfare, let's say you've had to struggle throughout your life to a degree, you better make it clear with your son what you actually going through. You know what I mean? Because he can, in return, view some of this as a negativity. Because I had to ask Dion, he's saying all black women this, all black women this, all black women this. I had to stop him and say, fam, your mom is a black woman, right? And this is my cousin. His mom had him at 13. So this is a situation where she was young. She was a single mom. Well, today his mom has a thriving business, a husband. She living her best goddamn life, as they say, right? So how can you look at your personal experience with your mom and not look at that as, okay, this is the example I need, not all black women, because I'm looking at my mom not be this way. You see what I'm saying? So that's all I want to say today, man. I thank everybody for tuning in. I had to get this shit off my chest. Normally I come here with hella notes and shit. Normally I come here with hella notes and shit, ready to talk about, you know what I mean, the whole gamut of what I go through. But this was just important to me. We have to address when men in our community treat women this way, when men in our community talk about kids this way, we have to kind of address that. You know what I mean? Especially when it's younger black men. Because when we look at like a Charles, and this is who coons are in our society to me. When we look at Charles Barkley, when we look at Herschel Walker, when we look at Terry Crews, all these black men who go on platforms and speak negatively about black folks, and they do the same thing my cousin just did. They mix a little bit of truth with a whole bunch of bullshit. Y'all keep that in mind. That's how motherfuckers get over on all of us in today's society. They mix a little bit of truth with a whole bunch of bullshit. So if you don't know what the truth is, you hear the bullshit, you hear the little bit of truth and the rest of the bullshit, you're like, okay, yeah, that must be true. No. The single parent home in America is a 70-something% like he said, but that's factoring marriages. That's factoring in different statistics. I just read you guys statistics that says most black men are around their kids. This is taking into account for kids who do not live with their actual father, right? So it's important that we be contextual. And also he was telling me in his rants, he was becoming really, he kept mentioning that basically because I'm a man with no kids, I can almost shit on a woman who does have kids. I can almost say I don't want to. Now, it's okay if a man says, I don't have children. I would prefer to start my family with a woman who don't have kids. That's understandable. But if you on your feet talking about, bitch, if you got kids, get your ass and your baby mama ass about my face and all this. Now, what are we doing? What are we doing? If we bashing black, see, I was trying to tell him it's all about the message. It's all about how you present your message. And sometimes the people listening is going to be like, it ain't even about the message. It's the messenger. You see what I'm saying? So it's important that we love each other, man. And it's important, let me get this out of here too, because somebody was hitting me the other day like, man, what do you hate white people, Harrison? What do you hate other? I'm like, what the fuck? It boggles me. It's really infuriating that by me speaking the truth and me speaking about how much I love my people, it's treated as hate speech when I've never said I hate anybody. Never. And black people, let me let you on another little secret. Shit, why I'm in a mood, goddammit. Black people, because of integration, because of how the structure of this country was set up, most of us, since early age, has been forced to be around white people. Now, this has done a couple things. The biggest thing is, and this is my opinion, family, Because again, I don't hate nobody. If you're a racist Caucasian person, you can die. I don't even want to talk to you. That's the kind of person I don't have any sympathy for. I don't have any patience for that shit. Now, if you want to talk, if you have misconstrued conceptions, then we can talk about that, right? But black folks, when we came to this country, we are the most loving people, and as kids, most of us was forced to be around other races of people, right? What this did, it did a simple thing. It allowed us to see that everybody is human, right? You've seen rich, you've seen wealthier white people, you've seen poor white people, you've seen white people who dress nice, you see white people who dress all fucked up. You see the whole gambit, and you begin to see that, no, they're just people like everybody else. The problem with racism in America is most white folks don't live around us, right? Like, we need to be real about that, family. Redlining and the suburbs was created for one reason. White people used to be in the inner city, believe it or not, y'all. White folks used to be in the inner city. What happens? Slavery ends. Black people begin to expand around the whole country. Whatever city we moved in, white folks just move out further. More of us move in, white folks just move out further. More of us move in, they just keep going out further. So now we have all these enclaves in America where it's pretty much all white. I read this book. I have this book called Sundown Towns by James Lowen. And I don't know how I got into all this shit, but let's go. I got this book by James Lowen called Sundown Town. A sundown town is there were thousands of cities and towns in America that was all white, right? Now, they kept these cities all white, and there's still some to this day. They kept these cities all white by doing a couple things, right? There will be a sign at the beginning of the town. There will be a sign that says, and I'll quote it loosely, basically, black people, you got to be out of this town by sundown. If you're still in this town when the sun go down, we got a tree right there, we're going to lynch your ass. You see what I'm saying? So they would create these towns by violence. Like a new black family move in, they're going to make sure they kids fuck your kid up. They're going to make sure they put tiki torches in your porch. They're going to make sure you have the hardest time possible, so you leave. If you're rambunctious about it, they'll kill your ass. Here's the point I'm making. And a lot of these towns are still up and running today. Like, I'm in Sacramento, California, Elk Grove, Roseville, a couple others. These were sundown towns. These were all white communities that if you was black and you went into this motherfucker, you better have a gun with you. You know what I mean? And so I would say, too, if you see any town where it's like 2% black, 3% black, it's that way on purpose. Keep that in mind. You know what I mean? So this has been like an impromptu discussion. Like I said, this ain't my show. My normal show I filmed yesterday. I'll be posting the show tomorrow. But again, I had to address this self-hate by my young brother because this was out of love. Like, I don't hate my young cousin. I don't even dislike him. He's just misguided. That's why we got to be there as parents, because this is my cousin's, one of my older cousin's son, and my young cousin has had a hard life, like a lot of black people. It's as far as having a mom that's going through things, having a dad that's not there for you in every capacity. And I think sometimes that type of trauma can make a young person say, fuck all this black shit. You see what I'm saying? And this is, I'm speaking for him right now, and he can come on here and correct me. And the young brother is still looking for love, right? The young brother ain't found no black woman that knocked his socks off. You see what I'm saying? And sometimes it's not just about women being bitter. And again, he can come on here and correct me, but this is how I feel. People can be bitter. Like, if you're in your mid-20s and you haven't met somebody that makes you feel a particular way, you may begin to feel that ain't no people out there for you. You know what I mean? But like I was trying to express to him, it's really about your approach. Like, again, he's mentioning baby mamas and hood black women, right? But you got on 15 chains and your pants is down to your goddamn knees. Who do you think is going to be attracted to that ensemble, nigga? You know what I mean? So we got to be clear. And this is, again, teachable moment. My thing is about our families and our children. I don't want any of your young men to be coons. So tell them you love them. Tell them they look good. If you're a black woman, be the best representation of our queens as you can be. be the best representation you can be. Try your hardest to be as presentable as possible, not in a physical sense, but in a mental sense, right? So we can teach our babies the right way. And I know a lot of you guys are out there doing that. That's why I don't bash black women, because I've been around a lot. I've been, like most of us, I've been around black women my whole life. And have I met some ain't shit women? Of course. But that's not based on race. That's just how shit is designed. You know what I mean? But most of the black women I know get up every day and try their best to take care of their kids, doing it with or without a dad. You know what I mean? Because he talking to me about single mother rates, and I'm aware of the prison industrial complex. I'm aware how, when welfare was introduced to our community, it seemed like a leg up, and it gave women the impression that I don't need a man. I can have money coming in without his presence. They would go into the house to check to make sure men weren't taking advantage of, or men weren't benefiting from the welfare that the women were getting. So this is a systematic effort to put us where we are. And now, for the most part, we just on autopilot. You see what I'm saying? So we have a lot of unchecked trauma that we've never really looked at. And if you aren't careful and you have unchecked trauma dealing with our community, you can end up like my little cousin and say, well, you know what? Fuck all you niggas. I'm going to go get me a Mexican girl. You know what I mean? So that's been it, man, for my little impromptu show. Thank everybody for tuning in. I'm out.